Welcome back to In the Hall, episode 53. I feel fantastic. Cold shower. Incredible. You know, you don't like cold showers for about the first 5 to 10 seconds. And then you control your breathing, and it's like the greatest thing ever. So what I do now, not that anybody gives a shit, is I'll take a hot shower, and then the last 30 seconds will be freezing cold. That way it just gets everything going. But anyway, good to be here. Hope you had a great week. I haven't had internet. Now I'm just doing the show. I'll probably just go upload it at a coffee shop next to those other animals that have their laptops open. What are you doing? What are you doing in there? Go home. Buy a coffee and leave. No one leaves anymore. They just hang out. You spend $2 and then you use $15 worth of electricity to power your MacBook Pro. What are you editing? No one's watching your videos. Speaking of no one watching your videos, I have a new Instagram account, Sean Madden Stand Up. Can't get my real name. You know, someone has Sean Madden, but they don't use Instagram. I even messaged the guy like a year ago. I was like, hey, I'll give you $300 right now if you can change the name so I can just have Sean Madden. I can't even get Sean P. Madden. What are we talking about? Okay, so I'm at Sean Madden Stand Up. My Sean Madden comedy, God, it's so corny, doesn't, no one can see the posts. I got kind of blocked and shadow banned, they call it. I guess people have to type in my entire name in order for my profile to pop up, which is bullshit. So yeah, I made a new account, putting all the old videos on there. I'm gonna have some new stuff. So yeah, check that out if you like what I do. Obviously, if you're listening to the show, unless you just randomly stumbled across this, I have like people from France and like some like Saudi Arabia. Whoever's listening in Saudi Arabia, do you have any oil money? Can you book me? Can I do one of those $1 million gigs? Because $1 million is like something you just step on to go get another silk shirt out of your closet. Can I do $1 million gig? I'll perform for those people. I'll perform for ISIS if the money's right. Taking machine gun fire on the way to the gig. Wearing a bulletproof vest and a helmet. Is this trip for business or for pleasure? Well, that depends. Could be both. Yeah, dude, cold shower. Highly recommend it. 5 to 10 seconds, awful. After that, you're like, well, I'm already in here. You got to dunk your pits. You got to hit the pits with the cold water. And then you got to get your face. And then you'll be good. So, yeah, I remember first period, I had weightlifting. If you were like on the football team or another sport, usually they put that as your first period because they want to win. See, the high schools in Florida, it's all about sports. I guess really anywhere. But in Florida, man, it's like some of those kids are going to the NFL, so it's borderline boot camp. So it's like summer workouts, 2-a-days, all that shit. But I had weightlifting first period. So you had to show up with your gym clothes on. That's what was cool. You could kind of just roll out of bed because you're going to have to shower anyway. And then class would end at 8:45. So at 8:30, you're running into the locker room. You open your locker. And then you got to take the coldest shower of your life. Like there was not even a water heater anywhere on the premises of the school. So the whatever water came out, it was just ice. You were getting hit with like ice cubes. I'm like, is that Italian ice hitting me in the back of the neck? Dude, coldest shower, and you hear everybody like screaming. But that was your only option. It was like, are you going to smell horrific for the rest of the day? Or are you know, you're going to take a 10-minute ice cold shower before you run to your next class. And then you were like awake for the rest of the day. Just up. Everyone's like sleeping first period. You're like amped. You just squatted and took an ice cold shower. Felt like but then you got to just sit and do, now I'm supposed to sit and do math. You know, it's just like, it's ridiculous. It's like the people that come home from war and then they work at, you know, Subway. And you're like, oh, they're not focused. Every time the oven goes off, they hit the floor because they think it's an IED. A makeshift bomb. Nope, it's just the pita bread. Whatever the fuck they serve. Fuck Subway with their yoga mat. Remember they came out with that? Oh, we no longer use the ingredient that's in yoga mats. And people were like, oh, some people protested, bring back the yoga mat bread. I love it. What are we even talking about? I don't know. I'm just comfortable now, man. Comfortable on the show. But getting comfortable on stage. That's dangerous. Going back to being just anything goes. I did a horrible gig. It was an open mic. The Orlando open mic scene. Very hit or miss. Yeah, this place downtown. It was during the finals the other night. I think it was like the Clippers and somebody else. But of course I get on stage when there's 7 seconds left in the game. So now that's like the worst spot when people are like really focused. But I was doing good, so people kind of turned around, or they just wanted to fight me. But it was 10 black guys at the bar, and then everyone else was in the back. So the key was like, okay, in order to compete with the game, like you got to say something crazy off top just to get people to listen. So it was a rainy night. I think I forget. I said, wow, thank you, black people, for coming out. I know the rain is your kryptonite. I was like, I said, oh, but it's good they had the sneaker spray, the waterproof spray. So I'm like, y'all are good. And then everyone turned around. I mean, it was borderline. It's kind of funny. But then I was saying like, hey, you want to go out tonight? And he was like, nah, I can't ruin my sneakers. And then I was like, oh, I'm just kidding. But seriously, who drives a Dodge Charger in here? Raise your hand. Because I don't know. I'm like, dude, black people just love Dodge Chargers. There's got to be like the CEO of Dodge just pacing back and forth in an office. He's like, they love them. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but we'll keep making them. We'll keep making them. Let's put the custom rims on the Dodge before they even buy it. Who was talking about that the other day? They were saying, it was like a black dude telling me, he's like, yeah, he's like, black people don't even care if it's like the V6 version with the cloth seats as long as it has like rims on it. And I'm like, it's so true. It's so funny. Dude, every culture has the people in it that's just like the thing they do. And it's so stereotypical and funny that it's like, so you have like trailer park white people and they do like their shit, you know, like shoot beer cans in their backyard, you know, all those jokes. Then you have like, if it's a Honda Civic, like an inch off the ground with a giant spoiler and like a carbon fiber hood and all these like hood scoops and stuff that doesn't even work, doesn't connect to anything, neon under the car. You know, it's like a Puerto Rican guy. You know, it's like, it's just so funny how you can just see a vehicle and just call it out, or see you know, the way someone's dressed. Although I did see an Asian guy wearing Timbs in New York, and I actually kind of like stopped. I was like, whoa, what the? It was just so funny. He was like, he was painting the side of a building. I was like, wait a second. Because it's even weird when like, I don't know, it's just such a, Timbs are such like a New York thing. It's like if you see anyone else wearing it other than someone with a like you have to have a do-rag on to wear Timbs. That's my rule. It's like part of the kit. shout out to Brooklyn, man. Bushwick, Moffett Street, Wilson Ave, L Train, connects to the J. Don't connect to the J. Don't connect to the Brooklyn Junction, all right? You're gonna get your shit taken. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Dude, that was the war. I'm like, oh, I'm never connecting here again. Holy shit. It was rough. Rough. Yeah, they tricked me, man, when I moved to Brooklyn. They were like, oh, it's all gentrified now. You heard everyone complaining. Oh, it's prices are going up. I'm like, all right. This apartment's newly renovated. Let me move in. It's apparently, quote unquote, the safe part of Brooklyn. Not on my street. Not on my street, man. I was the only white guy for a while on my street. Dude, it was like, I think I've talked about this before, but what I want to talk about today. Yeah, bro, call your friends. Call your friends. A lot of people were going through it. I mean, this last couple of months, man, people that I thought were doing great, you know, you talk to them and they're just come out and say like, man, I've been having like a rough last couple of weeks. You know, I have friends that are like really well off. You know, they got good jobs and everything, and you think everything's good, but it's like, man, call your friends, dude, because you don't know if someone else needs to hear you talk, you know, and bring them up, or they might bring you up, man. So it's just call your friends, dude. Anyone who you're like, man, I haven't called them in a while, reach out, man, call them. I got to do a better job of that. Usually I'll call people when I'm sitting in traffic. That's like the best time, because it's like, what else are you gonna do? You know, call someone. It's not taking any time out of your day. You know, you're not doing anything else unless you got a new album or a new song. That's the thing. It's like when if someone calls me and I'm in traffic and I don't have any new music, I'm like, oh man, thanks for calling. But if I see someone call me and I'm like midway through a new album and I'm like, this song, I'm like, what is this song that do? I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. Ruining the vibe. What? And then you're like, what's up, man? You're like, hey, you heard this new album? What are we, 14 minutes in? Jesus. I don't like having the clock here. It's like when I worked at Papa John's, I was making crust all day. You had to like lock your fingers in like some weird ritual and just make the crust. Just circle it. Then there was the kid that's been there since high school who's now like 35 and he's tossing the pizza. He's like, you don't know how to toss pizza? I'm like, no, I'm in high school. Sorry, I haven't learned that yet. Sorry, I'm not a master chef at the Papa John's. Guy would be like 30, like a 35-year-old. He's like, dude, I make $1,200 a month, bro. He's like, step your fucking game up. I'm like, what? $1,200 a month? It's not even like rent nowadays. Dude. That's Bradenton for you, though. $1,200 a fucking month, bro. Get your shit together. You're like, huh? What? Why is there duct tape on your car? If it's so good. He's like, and I live with my mom and we split the rent, so I save even more money. I'm like, are you flexing right now? Because it doesn't sound. It's just, this is, what was it? Weird flex, but okay. That's what that was. $1,200 a fucking month, bro. With your stupid long blonde hair. Fucking heroin addict. If you're a heroin addict listening to this, I don't judge. You know, I had heroin addict roommates. Best roommates ever. Very quiet. Didn't really ever come out of the room. You had to check on them often. The only bad part about having a heroin addict roommate is when they eat all your food and you go to confront them, they're dead. You know, you're like, oh, you overdosed. And then you got to call their mom. That's a weird phone call. Like, hey, Miss Johnson, your son ate all my chips and salsa. And she's like, well, why are you calling me about this? Tell him. I'm like, well, that's also why I'm calling you. Your son is no longer here. You need to find me a new roommate. Because we lost a third of the rent. That's what I'm grieving. Having to pay a third more of the rent. We are gathered here today to celebrate the life of less expensive rent. Okay. I feel like it's funny about doing this podcast is I've said it many times and I will continue to say it. You don't know if you're bombing. I feel like it's been a good episode so far. But just like being on stage, you're like, whoa. Am I bombing? Talking to this studio foam. I have I put the pop filter on. I think it was the last episode. There was a lot of, every time I would say a word with a P, like popcorn, it would make it would like spike the level of the audio. And then it came out weird in the car speakers. That's the ultimate test if your stuff is recorded properly, play it in the car. The car will expose your poor audio equipment. But I got a good setup. So I put the studio, the pop filter over the mic. It looks like one of those things on the top of the guy's head that guards the castle in England. The stupid, looks like, it kind of looks like Gerald from Hey Arnold. His haircut where it goes straight up. We are 20 minutes in almost, and I haven't talked about a single thing that I wanted to talk about. But it is Friday, so I will have to put another episode out very soon. So I might just save some of the topics. I got a new neighbor. He has a motorcycle. I haven't seen him yet. But his motorcycle smells, dude. His motorcycle smells like just straight weed and shitty beer. It's like a frat house. I was like, even Nancy, I was talking to her, we were coming home. I was like, what, is that the motorcycle that smells? I'm like, dude, how fucking hard are you partying that your motorcycle smells like weed? Like, what are you just ripping the bong down the interstate? It's just like, oh, get home safe, bro. Oh, like, how did you even get here? Did somebody drop this? Did somebody, drop your motorcycle off? Yeah, don't worry, bro. I'll bring it home. I'll hook it up to the trailer. Crazy, dude. I'm not like a nosy neighbor at all, but that's I got to ask him about that. I'm only a nosy neighbor when someone puts their couch on the curb. When they get a new couch, dude, some people put furniture on the curb where you're like, what happened in there? What happened in your house? Do you have a baby rhino? One time a neighbor put out a couch that was half of it had caught fire. I think he had to have fallen asleep with a cigarette in his hand or something and just lit the couch up. But the other half had a hole in it, it got hit with a cannonball. It's just what are you watching? Pirates of the fucking Caribbean? He's like, it's 4K. Cannonball came right out, lit my couch on fire. Wah, wah, wah. Did I just do a Pirates of the Caribbean reference? I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta pause and go, oh boy. Oh boy. Good thing I'm just talking to you and not a crowd of people on stage. Rather bomb here all day. What else were we talking about? Man, it's good little 20 minutes. Where was I? Speaking of nosy neighbors, I was going to the mailbox. It was a couple days ago. Nancy and I were going to go check on the mailbox. So we walked down to the clubhouse. They have it's one of the ones where you got to put the key. It's not like we have a house. Have a mailbox. Oh my gosh. Get to the fucking point, Sean. Okay. So there's this one guy. He's He's either 80 or 260. He's just, I can't figure it out. But he has a little dog, and he moved here from California. And he's tried to talk to me while I was driving. Like, he told me to roll my window down because he was like, oh, California plates. And now he was leaving the dog park, and he started walking towards us, and I was like, no. Because he's a nice guy, but it's like, what are we doing? You know, do you want to be on the podcast? I might get this guy on the podcast because that would just be funny if I'm like, all right, I'm going to have this guy on the show. And then he comes on and he just tells his life story, and it's just like the funniest thing ever because we set it up as like the Nosy Neighbor episode. So this guy, he goes, he forgets he's talked to me before. He comes around the corner. We're walking to the mailbox. He goes, where are you guys from? Nancy's like, New York. I'm like, I'm from Florida, you know, just moved back from California. And that's where I fucked up because he trapped me. Okay. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to the mail. I left Nancy with this guy talking. He's got this big dumb grin on his face. Like, you know, I guess when you get old, man, it's just, you need somebody to talk to. We probably got that dog just to go to the dog park to have an excuse to annoy other people. And I'm checking the mail. I'm like, I'm stacking it. I'm looking through each item. You know how you take it, the one from the front and put it in the back. You guys know, checking the fucking mail. I'm throwing out all that like advertising bullshit in the trash can, I'm looking at Nancy, and she's just struggling talking to this guy. I see her doing the smile, holding her arm like, fuck, like I got to get out of this. And I was so tempted. I should have done it. It would have been so funny. I was going to take the long way around and go behind the pool and just walk back to the place like that and just, just leave her to talk. And it would have been the funniest video. But yeah, man, I'm going to, what is it? Right now it's Friday the 18th. So I will probably be doing another episode. I'm going to try and get Nancy on the show. She's a real tough guest to get, you know. It's hard to reach her in the other room. But we'll have her on. We got to talk about some stuff. I have like a list of things here, but I feel like this was a decent episode. Just kind of rambling. But yeah, Sean Madden. The main thing is Sean Madden's stand-up is where all the new videos and stand-up clips will be. I've been digging through like old hard drives trying to find like New York bits that I don't even do anymore, just trying to get rid of stuff. And that's pretty much it, man. Sean Madden Comedy is no more, and Sean Madden stand-up is the new profile. What else? This is on Spotify and Apple. And also there's video versions on YouTube. So if you have to watch the show, if you're one of those people, we have that as well. And yeah, man, we'll see you next time, probably in like 2 days.
You've seen him perform all over LA. Give it up for Sean Madden, everybody.
What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
This show's not going to go well.